Well, he's one of the world's most influential and controversial human rights activists. Peter Tatchell is renowned for championing gay rights and has arrived in Sydney to open this year's Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. The London-based activist will kick off proceedings tomorrow night with a debate on same-sex marriage in Australia. And to tell us more, we're joined by Peter himself. Peter, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, you were an Australian born and bred. You've lived overseas in the UK. It must be quite exciting, to tell you the truth, to come back and sort of head up the festival this year.
It's always great to come back to Australia, and yeah, I'm really proud to be here as part of the queer thinking program of Thnx, which is a part of the Mardi Gras program, and it's also great to support the campaign for marriage equality in Australia, which I'm doing the same campaign in Britain, and we're making progress because the British government has just announced they're going to consult on opening up gay marriage for same-sex couples. It's an
interesting thing here in Australia. The gay lifestyle is very much accepted here in Australia. We have one of the biggest festivals in the world to celebrate that, yet we still have this sticking point with the actual question of marriage. What is the difficulty here?
Well, I'm very surprised because Australia has a tradition as being a very liberal country, and I'm particularly surprised by Julia Gillard.
But doesn't that in itself tell you something about the Australian thinking on it?
Yeah, it sort of does, and I say it's particularly strange that Julia Gillard is opposing any consideration of same-sex marriage. She had the option of marrying her partner, Tim Matheson, but chose not to do so. And that's fine, that's great. But now she wants to deny that option to same-sex couples who do want to get married. And I think that's really, really unfair. And the fact that she won't even consider, have a consultation like they're having in Britain to consider the option of a gay marriage, I think it's just really wrong.
Well, I come from a strong Christian background, and I understand the Christian thinking on gay marriage. They see marriage as a union between a man and a woman in the eyes of God for the prime purpose of procreation. Why doesn't the gay community accept that that's the Christian view and move forward? And I don't mind what they call it, or I'm sure a lot of people don't mind what they call it, but why can't you move past that particular point?
Well, there's a very clear distinction to be made.
I'm just being devil's advocate here, I'm asking the question.
There's a very clear distinction to be made between religious marriage and civil marriage in a registry office. I think that's what the main campaign in Britain and Australia is all about, is to say, leave the issue of religious marriages aside, but in a civil marriage ceremony in a registry office, it should be open to everyone without discrimination. And to exclude gay couples from a civil marriage, that is discrimination, and I find it quite shocking in the 21st century that the Australian government, and in particular a Labor government, is aligning itself with discrimination against a section of the Australian population.
Well, in America, gay marriage as such seems to have come and gone. It's accepted for a period of time, then it's overturned again. What's the confusion? What's the difficulty there in getting accepted?
I think, again, in the United States, there is a very, very powerful religious lobby which is trying to suggest that civil marriages are the same as religious marriages. They're not. You know, this campaign is not saying that churches, synagogues, mosques or temples should be compelled to have gay marriages. It's saying that in a state-sanctioned ceremony in a registry office, which is secular and neutral, there the state should not discriminate. And when the state does discriminate, as it currently does, by saying that gay people are banned from marriage, that sends a signal that lesbian and gay Australians are second class and inferior, and I think that's a very, very sad indictment of the current legal status.
How do you move the campaign forward from here?
Well, we're really gratified because both in Britain and in Australia, the vast majority of the public believe that gay couples should have a right to get married in a registry office. I think there's a Galaxy poll and another poll which found that 52 and 61% of the Australian population believe in the right of gay couples to get married in a civil ceremony. So the public is on our side, and that makes Julia Gillard's intransigent stand all the more curious and odd. She's out of step with the Australian people. The Australian people want gay marriage. They think it's the fair dinkum thing to do, yet the Prime Minister is standing in their way. She's not representing the Australian people. She's standing for discrimination. I just plead with her, you had the chance to get married, give gay and lesbian Australians the same chance.
Peter Tatchell, welcome back home, really, for you, and good luck with the festival. The festival kicks off?
Well, it's starting the launch tomorrow, Saturday, and of course the big parade on the 5th of March.
Peter, thank you very much. Peter Tatchell in the studio with us live.